All right, good nighty, good love, Ken Triple G. We're gonna talk about it today. What do I call it? Update. I don't know, maybe an update. Should he retire? Things like that. The possible trilogy. Just some overall thoughts. I'm gonna get a little. I'm gonna go a little Wikipedia on you, whatever. Kind of a freestyle video, if you will. Anyway, I've been gone for a few days. Took a little break. That's how I do things. I'll flood the channel with videos, and then I'll come back and take 2 or 3 days off. But it's just how it is. I mean, there's really not a whole lot going on right now in the world of boxing, other than clickbait. I mean, if you guys want clickbait, I got plenty of that. But anyway, okay, Triple G. Okay, look, here's the thing. First of all, I'm grateful Gennady Golovkin didn't take the path of who? I'm thinking. Think of the great middleweight, history. Who am I thinking of? I'm lucky Gennady Golovkin didn't take the path of Marvin Hagler, right? After his loss to Sugar Ray Leonard, we know he felt robbed, walked away from the sport, never to return. And I thought Gennady Golovkin might do the same thing. He kind of went radio silent. He went MIA on us. We had no idea what was going on, but now we know, of course, he is going to return. But I thought, is he going to do what Hagler did? According to guys like Teddy Atlas, Gennady Golovkin needs to retire. I mean, how do you feel about that? Leave it below. I'm curious. Do you think he needs to retire? I don't think so. And I hope he's coming back for the right reasons. I hope it's not for money, and I hope it's for legacy, right? I hope it's for legacy because, in my opinion, they already cashed in once, okay? They already made their money. And they had all the belts. The history. They had the belts. All they had to do was go after Billy Joe Saunders, get the WBO, boom, undisputed middleweight champion of the world, joining people like Carlos Monzon. I think Bernard Hopkins pulled off, but I think back then there was only 3 belts back then, I believe. I don't know, fact check me on that. But, joining guys like Carlos Monzon and Bernard Hopkins, okay, so, but it didn't happen. So, what will Gennady Golovkin do next? Okay, we already know he's going to go sign with his own, okay, and in doing so, it will all but ensure, okay, guarantee a Canelo trilogy, okay, so that's, almost a given. It's written on the wall. Just follow the money in boxing, and that's where it leads you to a Canelo trilogy. So, they have unfinished business. They do. A lot of people believe Triple G won, and I'm one of the believers too as well. I believe he definitely won the original fight, and the rematch could have been a draw. Whatever you want to call it, but. That's for another debate. But, okay, so the Triple G Canelo trilogy, it's going to happen. It's not if, but when. Like I told you guys, I've been told September 2019 in Mexico, which is shocking to me that it's not at T-Mobile Arena. I'm so tired of seeing Canelo at T-Mobile Arena. And another thing, by the way, I truly hope DAZN, I hope they don't raise the price from $10. I think that would be misleading, dishonest, and I think they would lose a lot of customers that way. I'm really happy that they're offering, a good platform for $10. So hopefully they don't. A lot of you guys are worried about it too. So, and it's a legit worry. Like, how are they paying these guys what they're paying them? Canelo 300 and something million, Golovkin 40 million, whatever. Like, how are they doing this? Anthony Joshua, they have a ton of fighters, like, and they're charging people $10, an app or whatever per person. So, but anyway, let's talk about the options. So, what are the other options? He could go with PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, but then that would basically tie him to Showtime and Fox, all but eliminating any opportunity, for a Canelo trilogy, probably, right? And of course, if he signed with PBC, that would set up a Charlo fight, so not bad. Another network option would be ESPN. They're basically locked in with Top Rank, so I don't see that happening. ESPN and Top Rank, they're in bed together, so, but let's go back. 20 title defenses, okay, and I forgot about this till I was reading it the other day. 20 title defenses, 23 fight knockout streak. I think he tied Bernard Hopkins' record. I think if he would have won against Canelo, he would have beaten the record for title defenses. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Bernard Hopkins had 20 or 21. And I believe Triple G had like 20, but he was real close to tying it. But I think the draw in the original fight I don't think that counted as a title defense. So, and then he lost in the rematch. So, but anyway, needed the WBO from Billy Joe Saunders, if memory is correct. And most people, like I said, most people feel Golovkin won both fights, and I do too. I just want to repeat that because I get a lot of hate when I talk about it. But okay, let's go back. Triple G had the WBA Super, WBC, IBF, and the IBO. So yes, he did. Yeah, it was a WBO he needed from Billy Joe Saunders. I always forget which damn belt that is. But they went after the cash. Did they sell out? Yes. I'm a Golovkin fan, but they sold the hell out. So Triple G, just quick stats: 5'10 and a half, 70-inch reach. Comes in the ring around 170 pounds on fight night. 38-1-1, 34 KOs, 1 loss, 1 draw. 36 years old. He'll be 37 April 2019. And the age really doesn't bother me that much because, I don't know. I think when fighters get older, they gain knowledge and wisdom. I mean, look at Pacquiao. Look what Pacquiao's doing, right? Look what Bernard Hopkins did. Look what so many other fighters did, So, on one hand, I understand, the age is a disadvantage, but on the other hand, it's kind of an advantage if you think about it. I think back to Mike Alvarado and Juan Manuel Marquez. I mean, it's a good fight. They were calling him old man. Don't let that old man beat you and all this. And he beat him, knocked him down, I think twice, and beat him. So again, fact check me on that. I got a whole brain full of boxing memories and info. But so again, look what Kovalev just did, right? But anyway, back to Gennady Golovkin. Okay, 2002 up to 2004, winning 3 gold medals, I think, in 1 silver, I believe. And I'm going on memory here. Now, this I did have written down right in front of me here. First major world title, the WBA 2010, okay, vacant IBO 2011, elevated to WBA Super after beating Daniel Gill, beat Marco Antonio Rubio for the WBC interim, and then of course we know, I don't have this written down, but we know that he had the interim from Marco Rubio, and then Canelo vacated, and he gets elevated to, the regular champion. So that's how the belt history goes. And then David Lemieux for the IBF. So, of course, the IBF took the belt away from Triple G because he didn't fight, I think it was Darbinchenko or whatever his name was. So, why am I telling you all this? I'm telling you all of this because I feel like they kind of flushed his legacy down the toilet, okay? I think he'll always be remembered as one of the best in the middleweight division, but, things have been so different, who knows? I mean, who knows? I just don't know what's going to happen. It's like his career right now or his legacy and career is kind of hanging in the balance, right? Like, you just don't know what's going to happen. You just have no idea. So, I don't know. I don't like the selling out part. I just wish they would have went after Billy Joe Saunders back then. I think it would have just changed the whole course of history in boxing. So, I don't know. But in my mind, here's the thing. In my mind, okay, and this is a positive spin on it. And I offer this to any champion out there. In my mind, in order to be a real champion, you need to know what it's like to lose, okay? I don't want to see someone that has an easy path, right, or a flawless path to greatness. I want to see someone claw their way back and fight their way up, kind of like Kovalev did. We counted him out. I counted him out. I thought he was done. I'm like, this guy's done. There's no way. He's, getting a paycheck, whatever, and he made it back. Or Loma, losing to Orlando Salido, getting knocked down, got back up to win the fight. That's the type of champion I like. I don't like these paper champions that have this tailored path to greatness, this yellow brick road to greatness, like Canelo. Yes, Canelo fans, like Canelo. He's had this tailored path, and it's been an easy one. I mean, what tough opponent like in their prime has been up against Canelo? There's none. There is none. So, I don't like that. So, but right now, current middleweight world champions, Canelo holding the WBA and the WBC, Jacobs IBF, and Demetrius Andre the WBO. Just so you guys know. So, by the time Triple G and Canelo fight, Canelo should have the WBA, WBC, and the IBF, if that's considering he beats Jacobs. So think about it. Canelo beats Jacobs, boom, WBA, WBC, and the IBF, meaning Gennady Golovkin could have a chance to get all 3 belts in a trilogy, right? In a trilogy, in one shot, get all his belts back, and there we go. Well, shit. Hang on, wait a minute. Then he'd have to go after Demetrius on. I was thinking Billy Joe Saunders. No, he'd have to go out for that same thing, the WBO. So if he beat Canelo, he would only need the WBO. But instead of this time fighting Saunders, he would fight Demetrius Andrade. Like I said, of course, we still have the Charlo fight on the back burner. But too many network issues. Even Charlo himself, talked about how, too many network issues, too many problems. Like, I can't go to that side of the creek, as he calls it, that pond or whatever. But yeah, I really think, we're going to get some kind of, I don't know, maybe a keep busy fight out of Golovkin, and then that Trilogy in September. And there, like I said, there is a chance. And I mean, think about this. In two fights, Gennady Golovkin could become, the undisputed middleweight champion. 2 fights. Think about it. That's, 24 rounds or less. Okay, 24 rounds in 2 hours or less. He could change history. He could beat Canelo, and given Canelo beats Jacobs, beat Canelo, grab 3 of the belts, and then go after what's his name, Demetrius Andrade. And I wonder, has there ever been a middleweight in middleweight history that lost all the belts, or at least 3 of the major 4, and then went on to regain them, at 37 years old. So look at the odds. When you look at the odds, I mean, it's kind of stacked up against Triple G. Like I just said, how many fighters out there have lost all 3 at age 36, about to be 37, regained them, and went on to defend their title? So when you look at it like that, it seems implausible. Doesn't seem like it can happen, but there is a possibility, because you had 2 close fights with Canelo. So there is a possibility, and I think he would just smoke Demetrius Andrade. That's my own opinion. I mean, well, if Demetrius Andrade could avoid from getting knocked out, he might outpoint Triple G, and of course that would definitely be their game plan. So I don't know, guys. I'm going to leave it at that. What do you think? I mean, do you agree with what do you understand what I'm trying to tell you here? If you're a Golovkin fan, you got to look at it realistically. 37 years old, where does he go from here? Maybe that's why Teddy Atlas said he should retire, because the road to greatness seems nearly impossible. It really does.